right. Here we go. Different shit, different day. Shout out to homie Alex for the pizza. Homemade. We got the, what do you call it? Cornmeal. Cornmeal crust, cornmeal bottom. I fuck with cornmeal. Love cornmeal. So, regarding what we're actually here to work on today, we are continuing to work on this Ukraine documentary project. I'm going to be plugging away, grinding away at it today. Let me really quick give a shout out to today's sponsor. Red Bull. Yeah, that's good. So, continuing to work on this Ukraine documentary project. We've made some all right progress, but to be honest, I wasn't really able to touch it over the last few days. I was just grinding away at other stuff. So today we're going to dive in and hopefully get it almost to its final form. I mean, that really is the goal of today, getting all of the scenes like pretty much as good as they can be, which really just means going through, I think there's 3 or 4 more interviews I have to go through and essentially do what I did for this woman here, where I just pulled out some lines from her that I thought were impactful and just edit them in here. Pretty simple, easy peasy. And then do that for a few more interviews, find a little bit more B-roll. I kind of already have the opening set in stone. I already have the closing. I screened the showing or the rough cut that I had to the committee that's in charge of this project last week or the week before, and they really loved it. So it was last week. So we're on the right track. I think they're really enjoying the style, how it's feeling, how it's flowing. So kind of just going to continue to keep doing what I'm doing. So the next thing we're going to go through is this interview here, which is the same. We shot in the same, not we, they shot it in the same location as this woman. But we want to introduce her here as well. So what I need is another B-roll shot to go there. So first thing I'm going to do, like I did before, is go find the transcript and then find it, or find a good portion of it, which I'm trying to remember. I don't need that open. How do I add this to favorites? Add to starred. There we go. Okay. Translations. there was a few different places where these translations were at, and this one isn't this. So this one must be in my chat GPT. So what, 325, okay, it was the very first one, perfect. This woman named Yevdokia is 78 years old and a scholar of the Ukrainian language and literature. Can you tell us something? Oh, sophomore, Fidi. For example, if you are not essence consistent, then you, Celine, stagnate. I now predict that there will be no extra crumbs, no foreign fields, only swans and motherhood. I mean, just such a beautiful... Could you recite some other poems? No, not a poem. This is not a poem. Shevchenko with any poems was both golden and dear. These are small but significant poems. Can you recite 4 of them? Just a little, yes. 3 verses. What do you know about Taras Shevchenko? He lived for 47 years, of which 30 were in exile and 10 under police surveillance. And this, you see, is very beautiful. I really liked it. He was golden and dear. I still remember, quote, "You do not pity my young fate, but sometimes such sorrow overtakes my soul that I cry. I saw a little boy in the north. He was torn away from food all alone." So I'm trying to figure out, of course, you know, although I know you can't see this right now. Let me just bring it over here. We can see the translation. So pretty much all this right here, all the way down to the new prompt, obviously. So all of this is what is contained within this interview. So some really incredible stuff. It's kind of to be determined how we're going to actually introduce her exactly, because there was a second day later on where she'll be introduced again. And so she's the woman that they went to visit her house on the second day. So right now I'm just going to go through this and try to find some lines as a potential way to start. I mean, all this stuff where she's talking about this famous Ukrainian poet, Taras Shevchenko, you know, it's really beautiful and everything. Of course, it's one of those things like you have to kill your darlings. That is the saying in filmmaking, anyways. Like, you have some incredible, beautiful shots or lines or deliveries, but like at the end of the day, you always have to consider how they fit into the larger context. And if they just don't fit in, then they don't belong, and you have to accept that. So you can choose a son in the world, but you cannot choose your homeland. This is what Shevchenko said, and we feel the same. I have lived here. We all know each other. We help each other. When someone arrives, we greet them as if they were family. Where to go, how God wills. And I also remembered in the movie there was a woman who traveled to France where her son, a pilot, had died. So I'm looking for lines. You can choose a son in the world, but you cannot choose your homeland. Do a little live session here. Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I am live on YouTube right here. You can click this button, come watch. I am working on a documentary for Ukraine. Pretty awesome project. So if you want to check it out and see a little bit of behind the scenes of my thought process, how I do it, come tune in. Would love to have you. Documentary for Ukraine. Pretty awesome project. So if you want to check it out and see a little bit of behind the scenes of my thought process, how I do it, come tune in. Would love to have you. Everybody, so I am live on YouTube right here. You can click this button. Come watch. I am working on a documentary for Ukraine. Pretty awesome project. So if you want to check it out and see a little bit of behind the scenes of my thought process, how I do it, come tune in. Would love to have you. Everybody, so I am live on YouTube right. Everybody, so am live on YouTube right here. Click this button. Come watch. I am working on a For some reason, it's super delayed. I don't know why that is. Hey, what's up, everyone? So I am working on a documentary right now for... Fuck. Hey, what's up, everybody? So I am live right now. You can click this button, come tune in and watch. I'm editing a documentary for Ukraine, about Ukraine, a small town out there, and everything that's happened since the war. Pretty cool project. So if you want to come check it out, see behind the scenes what it looks like for me to work on a project like this, come tune in. Would love to see you in there. A documentary for Ukraine, about Ukraine, a small town out there, and everything that's happened since the war. Pretty cool project. So if you want to come check it out, see behind the scenes what it looks like for me to work on a project like this, come tune in. Would love to see you in there. Hey, what's up, everybody? So I am live right now. You can click this button, come tune.
All you have to do.
Stop. So meta. Okay. So meta. Share. Copy link. And watch. I'm editing a documentary for Ukraine, about Ukraine, a small town out there, and everything that's happened since the war. Pretty cool project. So if you want to come check it out, see behind the scenes what it looks like for me to work on a project like this, come tune in. Would love to see you in there. Hey, what's up, everybody? So I am live right now. You can click this button, come tune in and watch. I'm editing a documentary for Ukraine, about Ukraine, a small town out there, and everything that's happened since the war. Pretty cool project. So if you want to... There we go. Okay. Got that out of the way, fellers. Okay, now I can bloody relax. What the fuck? Okay. Everything was like family. Hello, Volodya. Look, if you're gathering, even one is enough at first. How have you survived? How did you survive the occupation? Well, like everyone else, we stayed home. we had what we needed, but there was no electricity. So right now, just initially, I'm thinking like starting here because everything else, I really love this line. Um, Although I don't know exactly if this is the right translation. Like you can choose a son. That might have been. She's talking about this poet and this story of this woman who went to France and all these things, and it's like, to try to you don't want to linger like too long on something that's not central to the story, like and in order to like capture the full, I think, essence of her telling the short story about this guy. This while this looks relatively short in paragraph form, this all written out in captions that somebody would have to read along with would be a lot. Um, so maybe I can come back and touch on it first, but as far as how I want to start it, I think maybe I could have her start just by saying this woman is a scholar of the Ukrainian language and literature, because that would be kind of important. Um, because then if she introduces a poem, then it's like, that means something. But let me just browse through here and see what else there is. Water is unreliable. Humanitarians provide food. Thank you very much. That's all. They give me a small electric stove. They provide water. Our own people, all of ours, take care of us. But war is war, but we have survived. We've managed not hungry. There's a store. You can buy things. Take the train. So they say life is movement. We're our sweet grandmothers. Thank you very much. All the best. Thank you. So it seems like she's very dismissive and very much wanting to get out of this kind of interview situation. So come visit us when there's peace, silence, and everything as well. Have you been to the lava? Yes, it is very good when you believe in God. Without God, it is impossible to cope, but with God, even beyond the sea, there is hope. When will we meet again? So perhaps somewhere abroad they will see such a beautiful grandmother, and which countries? Okay, so all right, so it's tough because the conversation obviously is a little wishy-washy. It kind of flows a little all over the place. Not the end of the world. I'm sure we can find little tidbits to use, but it's definitely, there's not really like a lot of like meat or substance in this to grab onto. Like this whole thing is pretty much unusable. This whole thing, I kind of like this line. Life is movement. We must keep moving. All the best. Thank you. That's like, if I was going to use that, I would probably put that at the end, but I really like what she says here. But the second interview where we come back to talk to her later, she says all this again. Not all this, but she talks about love a lot again the second day that they meet here. So I kind of want to save that sentiment for that day, for the second day. So I think to keep it kind of simple, like this is really good. You can choose a son in this world, but you cannot choose your homeland. This is what Shevchenko said, and we feel the same. I've lived here. We all know each other. We help each other. When someone arrives, we get them as if they're family. It's very beautiful. So I might end it there because of this. If I just did this part, what do you know about Taras Shevchenko? He lived for 47 years, of which 30 were in exile and 10 under police surveillance. This is very beautiful. And then she goes straight into You do not pity my young fate, but sometimes such sorrow overtakes my soul that I cry. And before that, I saw a little boy in the north. He was torn away from food all alone. He sat in an old row. It seemed to me that this was me. This was my youth. It seemed to me that I would never see freedom, true freedom. That's how it is in vain. The years of youth will fly by, so that he would not know where you are in this wide free world. And he will rise and he will ache, so that he does not cry, does not grieve. That they would not give him up to Moscow, not like before when they took him to Moscow for 25 years. In the movie, there was a woman who traveled to France where her son, a pilot, had died. In a handkerchief, she carried a piece of her native land. In the movie, so this is the other thing that's tough, is like there's a few ideas here that are not connected by any like firm threads. So this whole poem is really good. I know the quote to where she's supposedly quoting a poem ends here, but I think this whole thing is the poem. I'm guessing this is the whole thing. And I like the idea about the homeland, because that's obviously, very key to this whole thing. There was a woman who traveled to France where her son, a pilot, had died. Children, do you know what she took with her? You can choose a son in this world, but you cannot choose your homeland. That is what Shevchenko said, and we feel the same. I have lived here. We know each other. So yeah, I'd love to be able to use this. At first, how to name it? Everything is pleasant. I just want this war to end. So many people have died, people we know. We had what we needed, but there was no electricity. And there was joy when the lights came back, when children were born. In this little neighborhood, there's no heating or water. Water's unreliable. Okay, so roughly what I'm thinking is okay. You can choose a son in the world, but you cannot choose your homeland. So the fortunate thing is we do have a guy who speaks Ukrainian local here. That's part of this committee project, part of this aid project. And so he will kind of be like the final, I think, say as far as like how to translate this stuff more properly. So and the other thing, so let me check really quick to see if I have this level of context too, because I'm pretty sure right here, their translator, Oksana, she talked about who that woman was and what she said. She like encapsulated it. So I might be able to weave a little bit of what she actually said with like Oksana's explanation of what she said. Oops. Oh my God, dude. Okay. Okay. So that kind of helps. She does essentially say a lot of the same stuff that I saw in that transcript. So now it's just a matter of trying to think about how to get it to fit into this piece. She does give a little bit of context. This is a clip of her walking away. Just doing the old lady shuffle and look, a little dog in the middle of the street. Okay. Okay. So right about here is where I'd want to start it. So I think I'm just going to start with there was a movie where a Ukrainian woman goes to visit her son in France who had passed away, and she took a piece of her. So I could always fudge this a little bit and just say there was a movie where a Ukrainian woman traveled to France where her son, a pilot, had died. Do you know what she took with her? I cried when she said it. In a handkerchief, she carried a piece of her native land. Can you imagine what that means? You can choose a son in this world, but you cannot choose your homeland. So I want to keep this, but I want to figure out what a better translation of this is, or what like the essence of it that she was trying to say is, rather than the exact translation. You cannot choose your homeland. Like, you can't choose what came before you. Maybe you can choose to have a son. Like, you can choose to create another generation or choose the homeland of future generations, but you can never choose your own. I'm assuming is what that means. So I think because I have that little thing of Oksana and I want to include a little bit more of her talking because she was pretty pivotal to this, I might use a little bit of her recap uh, statement there rather than relying on a lot more reading. Because I think after watching this woman here and everything she says, it might be nice to just have a little bit of this other woman here. But then mostly just have it cut to Oksana after that. I think that might be a nice little balance to this. So where to begin? Could you recite some other poems? Shevchenko with any poems with bows. Can you recite 4 of them? Because the other thing is I can always also add voiceover. Although I'd much rather use Oksana's voice here to do that. So everything from this point on is about her and everything. And it's cool because we don't necessarily have to go into a lot of that. I mean, I think, obviously you don't want it to be a total sad fest. I actually kind of like hearing, she's optimistic and she has some more upbeat things to say. We don't necessarily need to make it always downtrodden, because she did say, we're getting a lot of aid. Luckily, I have money. Luckily, I have this, that. Like, we like to hear that there are good things happening too, and being kind of realistic about the situation. I think only focusing on the negative might not, it's not always the best thing. It's not always the most truthful or enlightening, inspiring. Of course, you want to feel something, but to have that level of emotion there, is important. So, oh man, I'm just trying to wrap my mind around what I want to include. I think I kind of want to start with this. And honestly, I might just use this line and this one. I have to fucking reverse engineer this now. I think this is the first one. Okay, so let me search that. So I'm going to copy that, open our software here. Go back to this, which hopefully, yeah. So this wasn't transcribed yet, but I'm going to do that now. So audio transcription, transcribe. I'm just going to let it do its thing. And it should regenerate the transcript in Ukrainian. And then I will search for it. We just reverse engineer it and we'll be off to the races. man. That's pretty good. Okay, did we get it? We did. Okay, so now I come up here to search. Command V. Search, and there it is. All right, so now we come to this part. We select this, and I want, let me see again. This is what Shevchenko said, and we feel the same. Where to go, how God wills. So I want to get all of this, so I'm kind of just going to look at this transcript and guess which parts that is. And I'm going to guess it's this whole thing because usually it exports this text file like that, and I'm guessing this might be how God wills or something. But, you know, we can always just say fuck it if we want to. So then I'm just going to grab and drag it, and just like that, we have it in the timeline. This is the nice thing about having this text-based editing. Like, you can just select portions of the clip by dragging or selecting what they said and dragging that into your timeline. And now, instead of grabbing this entire interview of her and having to trim off the ends, I can just select it and drag it in like this, and then so that might be a little bit long. Obviously, I might have grabbed a few too many things, and I could maybe go by periods because I would think that's the same. So like the punctuation. We know each other. We help each other. When someone arrives, we get them as if they're family. So by the looks of it, this is... Oops, actually, let me just do this the easy way. Let's see. You can choose a son in this world, but you cannot choose your homeland. That's what Shevchenko said. And we feel the same. I have lived here. We all know each other. We help each other. When someone arrives, we greet them as if they're family. Command C. Okay, so I'm going to look for that to see where that ends up being on the last. Oh, well, here's that word, which I'm guessing is, no, that's not it. Oh, right here. Okay. Okay, so really, I just need to go from here to here. So I'm going to grab that instead. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Bring that over here. So now we greet them as if they were family. Everything is pleasant. I just want this war to end. So many people have died, people we know. Command C. So now I'm looking for that. Oh, which is this one right here. Okay, I like that. So we have everything is pleasant. I just want this war to end. So many people who've died. Oh, that's right. I was gonna call this dude. This is probably. This is Evan.
Hey, Evan, it's Adam.
Oh, hey Adam, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Not too bad. Sorry, I forgot to give you a call, but
Oh no, it's all good. I figure you're busy.
yeah, that is how it
I
goes.
didn't know what time you were rolling out of there today.
I'll probably end up actually leaving a little bit later today, probably closer to like 7, maybe 7:30. I just have a few extra things I had to finish today.
It's all good. If it's easier, we can meet him like tomorrow morning or something, or
Yeah,
tomorrow afternoon.
yeah.
That's fine with me.
Okay, if that works for you, we can definitely plan on that. Yeah.
Yeah. What time are you? Do you usually roll through in the morning?
Usually around 9 or 10. So I could swing by somewhere in that time frame if that works for you.
Yeah, either that or when you get done tomorrow, or I just run it to you on my way back through or something.
Okay. Yeah,
Either one. Just give me a heads up. Sounds like you got a lot going on, so I
for
mean,
sure.
it's in my truck, so no matter what, I'll get it to you.
Okay, awesome. No, that's awesome. Well, yeah, no, I do appreciate it. I will give you a shout out probably tomorrow morning around that time and let you know either way where I'm at,
Okay.
if that
Yeah,
works for you.
I'll probably. I usually leave by 8 to
Okay.
get up here to take care of stuff. So it'll probably be better after you get done or whatever. But I mean,
Okay, gotcha.
swing by or call me, or if I gotta, dropping into town to you or something, if I get off early enough or whatever. I mean, otherwise
Yeah.
Monday, or I mean, I don't know how much a rush you are for it.
Yeah, I mean, not a super rush, but I would definitely like to get it sooner rather than later, just to start processing it. And I've already kind of started their edit with the footage that I have, but they're wanting little just snippets from all the speakers as well, to put on their website, that kind of thing. So I
Yeah,
gotta
I
get.
gotcha.
Um,
And I thought that Rob had already pulled out. I just talked to him because he wasn't in today. And I was going through the footage, and I didn't see, like, I guess he didn't, he's like, I couldn't do it with our computer just to edit out Carl's stuff. But
mm,
basically, there's a one file that has like the whole thing, like show beginning to end,
oh wow.
and
Okay.
then there's breakdown ones below because we recorded on 2 different devices.
Okay.
And so that one kind of breaks it into chapters. So once you know where you're at, you can find it quicker that way too.
Mm,
But
okay.
it's
Nice.
all on there. It sounds good. So
Oh,
yeah,
sweet. Awesome. Awesome. And is the audio for everything already kind of synced up to the video? Like is it all in one file?
yeah. It's
Oh,
all
nice.
together. It just plays like if you use like VLC. We usually just play stuff on VLC. But
Yeah.
no matter what thing, yeah, it looks good. I don't see anything where it's like super crazy off sync or anything. Because
Oh,
we
sweet.
basically we just split the board straight into the recorders, and then we do the video together. So it all looks pretty good synced up.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
Okay. Awesome. Cool. Well, then yeah, I will let you know tomorrow when I'm headed out, and yeah, I will get that from you one way or the
all right,
other.
all
I will
right,
make time
perfect.
for it. Um,
Yeah, I know how it is, man. I mean,
yeah.
if I'm swinging through at a time or something happens, I mean, I can always just like bring it over to you. Like I said, I just live in Center Point. If you live out in, you said you live out towards White City.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, if I got to run like on Saturday and jump it over to you or something, if you get crazy, that's fine because I'm
Okay,
going to be
sweet.
running around anyways. I got the weekend off, so I don't care.
Okay.
I'll
Oh,
bring it over
sweet.
to you.
All right. Well, that might work too then. Awesome. Well, I appreciate the flexibility, and yeah, we'll be in touch.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Take care.
All right. Yep, you too. Bye.
Bye. All right. Sweet. Oops. Okay, Zay, here we go. Okay. Fucking Christ. So many people have died. Yes, yes, we love that. Get them as if they're family. Everything is pleasant. I just want this war to end. So many people have died, people we know. So I'll kind of see, this already feels like a little bit on the longer side. Um, okay, so that was the line. People we know. I don't believe happiness is in money. I think this might be a good one. Every land belongs to someone. Your own land is the closest, isn't it? The place where you were born, where your parents are, where your ancestors rest. So they say. Our own people, all of ours, take care of us. War is war, but we have survived. We have survived. So maybe I can use that line. There was a movie where a Ukrainian woman traveled to France where her son, a pilot, had died. And do you know what she took with her? I cried when she said it. In a handkerchief, she carried a piece of her native land. Can you imagine what that means? Okay, so I'm going to do that as well. Man, now the more I'm kind of reading over this, how many people died, people we know. Um, now it's just trying to decide which parts to use and in what order. People we know. See, she doesn't really get emotional necessarily like the previous woman did. Um, but people have died. So I was going to originally go to from this line, so many people have died, people we know, right into there was a movie where the woman who traveled to France. But I think I need one more thing to kind of tie them. We had what we needed, but there was no electricity, and when there was joy, and there was joy when the lights came back, when children were born, and in the Slitted neighborhood there was no heating or water. Water is unreliable. You managed to provide food. Thank you very much. People have died, people we know. They gave me a small electric stove. Everyone helps. They provide water. We greet them as if they were family. They gave me a small electric stove. Everyone helps. They provide water, everything. They even give out plastic sheeting, building materials. This is the family. Our own people, all of ours take care of us. Wars were, but we have survived. Everything is pleasant. I just want this war to end. So many people we've died. I kind of want this line, I think. Um, okay, so we're looking for that now. Okay, perfect. All right, so that's, I think, gonna go in the middle of those two, I think is what I thought. And I'm gonna not have those bookended up against each other. I just need to kind of read these back in my mind. Yeah, the next thing I'm gonna do is grab one of these title things and just kind of grab it and drag it over here. For now, just so I kind of have something to help me reference what's what. Obviously, that's going to be too long and it's not going to fit. Space these out just a little bit. Okay. So this other one is Everything is pleasant. I'm just trying to get these down so I can tell what they are. Um, as if they were family. Okay, so now I know which lines correspond to which dialogue. There's no A in that. But you cannot choose your homework. So I'm going to go to all of these. Actually, this isn't really going to work, but is that really what I did on all these? Actually, I probably didn't do it because there wasn't. Okay. Um. God damn it! I need this Red Bull to fucking take into my system. Um. So that goes by pretty quick. 4:54 to. Oh yeah, it's like less than 30 seconds. I feel like we can maybe include another one in there. But you cannot choose your homeland. This is what Shevchenko said, and we feel the same. I've lived there. We all know each other. I've lived here. Where'd it go? People we know. What that means. Let's see. Um, I think it was. I also remembered. Okay, so I think it's all this. All right, so now we're gonna actually start putting some of these transcripts in because I think I like this structure here. Copy paste this template. And I'm gonna have it say, instead of in the movie, it's gonna say there was a movie. How do you spell Ukrainian? where her son, a pilot, had died. A pilot in the war. Do you know what she took with her? In a handkerchief, she carried a piece of her native land. Try this isolation here. Down to 50. I almost like that transition. You can choose a sun in this world, but you cannot choose your homeland. Actually, I don't want that. can choose your son in this world. That is what Shevchenko said. Want that to last a little bit longer. I'm just gonna start copy pasting. Actually, this will Command C and V. And we feel the same. I've lived here. We all know each other. Okay, something like that. And then of course there's the other couple of lines, so I don't need this anymore because I added that essentially to the back of this. I just liked the way it all flowed together. I could start with that. I think that kind of makes the most sense, and then this could come after this, sort of like I had it. But I kind of want, Jesus, lag, hello? Oh my God. And we've we feel the same. Part of me is telling me to just end it there. Like the whole we all know each other, we're all family is nice, but just like the feeling you want to be left with is think I'm just gonna trust my instinct there. Okay. Everything is pleasant. I just want this war to end. That'll be the first one. So many people have died, people we know. Bring these two down. Oh man, I thought 60. Yevdokia. Okay, so I want to grab the same title I used before. With her name. Okay, I don't really want to use the same font for their name as I did for... do not pity my young fate. Sometimes such sorrow overtakes my soul that I cry. It's tough. Anytime you're translating poetry, it's always going to lose its effect. I mean, that's kind of the amazing thing about poetry is it's like it really only works in the language it was originally written in. Once you try to translate it, you're stripping it of all of its meaning through cadence and the way the words relate and bounce off of each other. You know, we can get obviously kind of close, and obviously with something like the sentence, "You do not pity my young fate, but sometimes such sorrow overtakes my soul that I cry." You know, there is something kind of poetic about that, just as it is, but it's not. You can kind of tell, even if that were how the poem were written in English, it wouldn't quite sound right. If anything, I would think this would say, "I do not pity my young fate, but sometimes such sorrow overtakes my soul that I cry." I saw a little boy in the north. He was torn away from. So the whole thing about her. If you are not essence consistent, then you, Celine, stagnate. I now predict that there will be no extra crumbs, no foreign fields, only swans and motherhood. You know, that can mean any myriad of things. So, you know, in that case, I don't. Oh God, like I'd love to use some of that, but I just like part of me was like, okay, I don't want to open with this. I want to open with a poem and then have it go into Oksana saying, oh, this is a woman who studies literature, Ukrainian language and literature. Like, imagine if it's Shevchenko with any poems was both. I saw a little boy in the north. He was torn away from food, all alone. He sat in an old row. It seemed to me that this was me. This is my youth. It seemed to me that I would never see freedom. True freedom. That's how it is. In vain. The years of youth will fly by so that he would not know where you are in this wide free world. It would kind of be.
People have died, people we know. Does the fact that they're speaking Russian deter the... Hmm. 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 Спасибо. Okay, this is another thing that's been getting to me is this stupid. All these clips are still appearing offline. So I think what I need to do is just move this into that. So we had to here's Dusk old. Now it shows up. Perfect. Okay, now do I do the same for these things? I think this isn't the same thing. Completed videos for exhibition. Yeah, it is the same thing. The rest of these clips I don't think I'm using, but this sound effect for the background was 260, 300. Okay, so these two clips. So I'll just go ahead and do that real quick as well while I'm at it. All this stuff got kind of mixed up, so just gonna have to repaste some things so the software can find it. It sucks. I think when you're doing a cloud project, it doesn't let you like re-link footage. You just have to put it into the right spot, which is kind of a bummer. Which luckily I'm not really using that song actually. It looks like I disabled it. But these two clips, I don't want the proxy. I can always come back to it if I need to, but I'll be good for now, I think. Oh shit, let me get this. Yo, what's up, dude? No, I'm kind of just working on that edit, but just chilling for the moment.
Hey, I was wondering if you might have time to stop by just for a few minutes in the next couple days, just to help me try a couple of spaces in my house, like just help me sort of set them and see, just help me find a place to do content and stuff.
Oh,
Just
for
go
sure.
over a couple of ideas I had.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I think I should have time maybe tomorrow. I have to meet with this guy who's in charge. I can't remember if I told you about it, but I'm kind of working on this documentary like project about Ukraine actually. And I got to finish it like by the end of the
What did you
month.
say, a documentary project for what?
About Ukraine, like a
nice.
small town in Ukraine.
Uh,
And I just got to finish it by the end of the month. And the guy
That's
who's
sick,
kind
bro.
of, yeah, no, it's really cool. So that's kind of the main like time consumption thing. You know, that's really the main thing I have going on this month at least. But yeah, if I get like kind of caught up on it and to a place where they're kind of comfortable with it, I have to show it to the committee like in Ashland that's kind of in charge of this thing tomorrow. So depending on what they want to see and like where they think the progress is at, I might have time. But worst case scenario, dude, I mean, if not the weekend, I can definitely come in
Yeah,
next
no
week.
pressure,
But
bro. You sound super busy. Don't let me, you know what I mean? I'm just sort of trying to figure shit out. So my shit's not important.
oh, for sure. I mean, you know, I definitely still need to come by and see the place. So I will try to make time for that. You know, all things considered, or I mean, if all things go smoothly with this. But yeah, I've honestly just kind of fallen behind on this, doing other little dumb shit. So it's just one of these things. Like I just, I got to try to make time for personal things that I want to be doing, less of a
Yeah,
priority,
100%.
to finish this stuff out. So we'll see. And then, yeah, there's just a bunch of
Well,
those
all right,
little
man.
things.
No, that's good luck, man. Let me know if you need anything or if there's anything I can help with. But it sounds awesome.
For sure. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. It's definitely different.
Where are they gonna screen it?
They're doing like a thing on the 30th, like a fundraising aid festival, not really festival, but it's just like a little thing at Ashland High School where they're going to have some poets, like Ukrainian poets, and a couple dancers or singers or something, and then they're going to show this movie, and it's going to be like a little fundraising project that I think the city of Ashland is putting on or sponsoring.
That's dope, man. You should make them hire you to film that.
Yeah, I will. I mean, yeah, I was definitely going to go, but I didn't even think about necessarily filming it. But that, yeah, that might be the next step. Um, I, I doubt they have the money. I don't think they're even really going to pay me really the full amount for this edit necessarily, but I kind of wanted to just do it like regardless of what they could pay. I just kind
Yeah,
of wanted to do
totally.
it as like a passion thing. And, obviously it's like a global issue. And, so I was like, whatever, I'll work with it for this kind of thing. And like, how often am I going to get a chance to do
The
something like this?
opportunity.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, totally, man.
but yeah, dude, that might be a pitch for them. Just, they're probably going to want the day documented. So that might be the right thing. But yeah, it's going to be screened and then we'll see, dude. I mean, if enough people like it, I might try to get it into at least a couple local, like little film festival things. Like I think,
Yeah. How much? How long is it?
it'll probably be about 20 minutes.
Oh, that's perfect, dude.
Yeah, I think it'll be totally watchable, maybe a little longer, but it's just like a
Nice.
little highlight piece of like a small town, um, like in eastern Ukraine that was affected. Some people went over there and filmed it, a little bit about it and stuff. So, yeah, no, it's really interesting. So,
That's
um,
dope, man. Good for you. Where are you getting music and stuff?
uh, right now, I mean, I've gone and found a few little things from like the websites that I use, like the royalty free, copyright free kind of websites, but they also sent me like some just like traditional Ukrainian folk songs or like blues folk songs on
That's good.
YouTube that I would think either don't have copyright or they're hella expired because they're just super old. Um,
Yeah.
and I just
And
ripped them off
that's
of
a
YouTube.
worry for later because
Yeah.
you can use anything that at the fundraiser, you know.
Right, exactly. That's definitely a film, yeah, festival consideration thing. And so, um, yeah, I mean, that's, yeah, that's the status for now. So
Nice.
luckily it's not anything insane, but, it's just like a lot of work going through and translating stuff too. I'm using like Chat GPT to like bounce back and forth between translating all these things that these local townspeople said and like cutting out parts of those and like re editing their dialogue and fitting it all together because they did a few interviews while they were there. So,
Well, dude, even if you need help with little shit like that, I've got time right now if you want me to do it.
oh, for
I
sure.
mean, again, I'm not like looking for money or anything, but just offering to lighten your load if you want to. But
No,
unless you want to
totally.
do everything yourself, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, well, definitely at the final point. I mean, I've kind of been in touch working with the lady who actually filmed all this stuff out there.
Uh,
She doesn't really do editing necessarily, but she's kind of been giving me pointers and stuff over email. But I might do the same thing where I did with her, which is just send her a link to the DaVinci project, and then you can like open it in DaVinci and see kind of what it looks like, and just view it at that in that way as well. That might
yeah,
be
totally, man. Whatever you need, I'm down to help.
no, for sure. I appreciate it. Yeah, yeah, that'll definitely be needed. Yeah, because there's a lot. So there's a lot to it. I mean, like they went to a lot of different little places within this town. So figuring out like big picture, like I've kind of just broken it up into scenes. I'm just editing it in like little scenes right now based on where they went. But then like when it comes time to tie it all together, I'll kind of need to get a sense of like how it flows and if it like.
Yeah. Do you have like an overriding storyline?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like I met with the guy a few times now. He's come by and we've kind of worked on it, and he sort of laid out how I guess between us we thought it should kind of flow in. It's really just going to be like kind of going from one scene to the next. There's only like 6 or 7 places that were like significant, that were important, and we spend a few minutes and talk to like one person at each location and just show like the destruction essentially with some B-roll of each place.
Do you have any dialogue to tie it together, like in between?
Yeah, they're going to have like the interviews, but then also just like a little bit of narration to kind of tie it. Like now we're
That's
at
what I
the
always feel like I need with stuff like you're describing. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I
And
always try
luckily,
and write some sort of like through line. I don't know, even if it's just graphics on the screen.
yeah,
I feel like it keeps people a little more involved. I mean,
engaged
again, you
and
know me, unsolicited advice. I'm just sort
no,
of like
yeah.
thinking out loud.
No, that's
Tell me
literally
shut up anytime.
no, that's I appreciate it. I kind of said in essence the same thing. Like for me it's usually like the human voice. I would almost much rather have some kind of voice in there than none. And luckily they did
Yeah,
get a lot of interviews with people to kind of
that's
like
good.
underscore the destruction and what they're seeing. People talking about just like the
But
flashes and
sometimes
bangs
you
and
gotta lead people to the big picture, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's what I feel like. Like I feel like if you're really, really good, you can like you can sort of like Werner Herzog level, you can just tie that shit
Mhm.
together, right? But even he
Mhm.
talks in his documentaries, like sort of
Right.
tells the story of why he's showing you what he's showing.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Anyways, dude. Oh man, I've been doing nothing for 2 weeks. I was like, I'm shutting my brain down.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, dude. Unite. That shit sucked. And so anyway,
Are you all
so
done
I'm
with him
doing
now,
that,
or
and now I'm. What's that?
are you all done with him now that you shot that last thing for him like that, or do you still have
Yeah.
to edit like that
Yeah,
telenovela
I
thing?
got like their hard drives and everything together today, and
Nice.
so I'm mailing that shit off tomorrow, and then I'm done.
Oh, damn. So what's going to become of that telenovela? Like, is somebody else just going to put it together, or did you already do
Yeah.
it?
No, someone else is gonna put it together.
Oh,
Dude, I'm
man.
sending them everything in Rec 709. Like, I'm just like, all right, you don't like they didn't want to pay me after the
Wow.
28th, and they knew it was gonna take that long to film. So I'm like, all right,
Wow. Damn.
man. Well, so you sound busy, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like this will be, this is definitely occupying this month. And then I got to now, even though I kind of thought I was all done with base shit for a while, there's like more things adding up for them. So we'll see. But I mean, I definitely need to start lining up more stuff after this. Like, I kind of, like, as much as I want to focus all my attention on this little documentary, like, I'm thinking, okay, after this, what's going to, what's
See,
going to be
that's
the
where
next
I'm
thing?
at, too. That's
Like,
why I want to start doing like content.
Yeah.
Like I figure, hey Henry, get over here. Sorry, my dog got out.
Oh, no, you're good.
But I figure that if I just start posting, I'm gonna make one little video that I'm gonna put like $100 behind, just to show to local people about like small business stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I want to start making content about the shit that I do, and even shit that I've done in the past, just to, hey, get over here, just to sort of show some of the work.
Mm-hmm.
Get over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then,
Right.
I mean, I've got that lady, Diane, that wants me to do some docs for her, but I've got to get that sizzle reel together.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Harvey project, I've just been, I have to get his, this other video together for him. So I guess I have stuff to work on this week, actually.
Yeah.
I just have
Nice.
to sit down and do it.
Yep. No,
But
believe me,
all,
that's
like,
the.
to get business. Like the Harvey project, he wants to do it, but we still haven't finalized like numbers.
Oh,
I
really?
told him once I was done with Unite, then I would put together
Have
that
more
other
free
video
time.
for him, and then we could talk numbers.
Nice. But you're saying he's still kind of, you still got to finalize that?
we still just have to finalize the budget and exactly what he wants it to look like.
Oh, right.
Like how much money he's willing to put into this thing. Because, like,
Yeah.
at one point he's talking about flying to France, you know what I mean, and shit like that, to try and go to
Right.
Fashion Week. And, like, I could see that working,
Yeah,
because he loves that sort of, like, he doesn't mind that kind of energy.
for sure. Yeah.
But like, I doubt that he'd really put that kind of money up. You never know.
Well, and also,
he's got,
but
just sell his Bentley. He's
yeah,
got 6 others.
that too. I mean, but doesn't he like also, hasn't the other thing that like just to keep repeat doing what already has worked, just going to these hotels in person and just like meeting with whoever you need to meet with their
Well, that's what
operations
I want him to
manager
pay me to do, though, is to
Right.
set all that up.
yeah,
'Cause number one, I don't think he'll ever do it.
on his own. Yeah,
Yeah, but number two, like, if he'll just pay me to do it, I will hound him until they let me,
yeah,
give me 10 minutes of their time so I can give them a free robe
yeah,
and and go from there.
yeah,
And so, like, I don't know. I think that it could work, but I'm really eager to, like, figure out if it will work,
yeah, right.
But I've got to, like, right now I've got to do the behind the scenes work, and I was honestly too burnt out after all the Unite shit. Like, the last
I
couple
can
of
imagine.
weeks, the last 2 months were fucking hell there, you know what I mean?
Oh, really? Oh, right, because of all the, I mean, just the turmoil. Yeah,
Yeah, and so I just wanted to, like, do that shit and then do nothing else,
yeah, yeah. I
And
can
it was,
imagine.
like, at overload. And so
Well, plus
but
you're
now that, like,
moving.
I'm done, and now that I'm sending that shit off today, I feel good.
Hmm.
And so I'm just ready to, like, to do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, hell yeah, dude. That's
So yeah, I think I'll figure out some, like, I just bought a what do you call it? Teleprompter.
oh, no shit.
Yeah, for $40.
Oh, damn, dude.
From
That's
some guy that I met a couple times. He makes videos around here. His name's Arturo. Can't remember his last name.
oh yeah, dude. I know him. I know Arturo. I used to actually
Yeah.
work with that dude at Red Robin a long ass time ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. He
Yeah.
yeah.
So he told me he just worked with Nike. I
Yeah.
only worked with him on one thing, and it was that art show that I think I saw you at.
Oh yeah, all those years ago, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, he did this promo for that. I remember.
Yeah.
But it was just on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh,
And
that's dope.
they're like $150 for a very, very cheap version.
Yeah.
So like $450 for the version I got. So
Yeah.
I got it for $40. So I was happy.
No, that's hype. I just actually, well, I didn't get it, but that dude Mark, who owns the dental lab I used to work at, I can't remember if I told you about him. It's
Yeah.
I might be doing some video stuff for him. He just bought one too because he's like, oh, we're gonna need this to do a bunch of talking head videos. So, which one should I
Nice.
get? So, he also just got one and he just left it here. So now I kind of just
Oh,
have one.
sick.
I'm like, dude, this would come in
Yeah.
handy for so much shit. Like, I never thought about it
Honestly, I
until
needed one more for Unite, but
yeah,
I still have worked with like I just have to get out there and get some business. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's
right.
the thing. I have to start like
Same, dude.
doing the things again,
Yep,
taking pictures and shit,
yeah, dude.
just to like meet people who need me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Either that or I got to run ads consistently, which I really don't want to do.
No, I mean, isn't that such a, I mean, not necessarily no brainer, but like, isn't that like that was the next thing I was gonna jump into, is just making some ads and then running them.
I mean, the thing is that like what I do is so specific to each business, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That like it's hard to say what they will need
Yeah,
until they need it.
yeah,
You know, and then you just gotta like design a campaign for them.
yeah, yeah,
But until that time, it's just I don't know.
yeah,
So I think like because I don't want to. Nobody's gonna. Because I'm trying to think like a business owner, right?
yeah.
And like I'm not gonna hire a video creator
Hmm.
necessarily unless I know what kind of videos I need.
Yeah.
So I need.
Well, I mean, some of them hire you for that to like figure that out for them too, you know?
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I feel like I have to advertise.
Oh,
right
I
there.
see. Right. Like I know how to
Not, you
figure
know,
this
as
out.
opposed- and so how do I? So like, in fact, right before I called you in my brain, I was like, I'm gonna get on with Chat GPT and just start like going back and forth about ideas, and just having it like refine
Mm-hmm.
until I hit upon something that I like.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know, I think I have to like, I don't know, it'd be good to like sit down and like talk and just sort of like
brainstorm.
structure out an ad campaign.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I was sort of like hoping we could talk about, because I want to figure out like where in this house, like I feel like my little office is too small to shoot in.
Right. Well, I mean,
but it looks most like.
do you have a window in it at least, like a natural?
I do.
Yeah, I mean that's already
But
better
all
than
it
nothing.
shows is like the house behind me.
I gotcha.
It's not, it's not like my old place where it was like a park.
Yeah, or just
That's
big
what I
backyard
liked,
or whatever.
and so
Yeah.
even like if I put people, like I have a little, like I guess I could just, so I have like a little dining area with like my 4-seat table,
Mm-hmm.
that round table, which would be good for like podcasts.
Yeah.
Of like 2 or 3 people, and then like it, I could be filming into the backyard, but I also have I could hang any sort of, I could hang like a green screen back there,
Mm-hmm.
and just make any backdrop.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. That's
I'd probably end up just doing that, but I hate the way that looks.
no.
So I'm wondering if like I could film with like my bar in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe like a couple plants, but like I don't know. I think I'm just gonna do it right in my living room.
I usually recommend that if you can, like just as big of an open space as possible, because it's like it's the easiest to get away with, where you don't have to rely on doing a bunch of lighting tricks to make it interesting. Like if you're right up against a backdrop, I mean, I guess that can obviously work if it's like clean and it's not distracting, but like if you're right up against a wall or like a freaking desk, like dude, Jesse's dad, he came by here the other day to film. Um, Mark, this guy who owns the dental lab, and he, had the teleprompter set up, and we kind of try to make this little space work in here. But I had my like computer desk in the background. He's like, "Oh, I think that looks fine with like, just put put our logo on your computer monitor, and it'll be like just sitting there in the background." And I was like, we can do that, but like all my cords are like dangling underneath the desk, and like my water bottle and my computer.
You gotta clean all that shit up.
Yeah.
But you can also use the conference room, bro.
Yeah, I thought about that, but I mean, it's like
that table's too big, huh?
Yeah, and it's just I wouldn't know really where to put somebody in there to make it like a good space to shoot. I mean, I guess
no, like the only thing you can do basically is like what we did with Virginia, which was not great.
Sit them on the table and
yeah, you'd have to like.
Well, for that,
you'd have to set dress it,
And honestly,
in there and like.
Yeah, I guess.
And that table's too big to take apart and put somewhere else for the day.
Like,
for maybe like in the lobby, could you do it?
Yeah, I thought about that, but I mean, the day I was here, I couldn't have done it because it was too. You're talking about the lobby to like the building, or just the little lobby to the little 202 room?
The building is what I was thinking.
That would be sick. I mean, if it was a weekend, maybe. But.
Oh yeah, or an evening.
Or an evening, but it's also super
like
echoey.
Just put up a thing that says "filming in progress, please be quiet." And,
yeah.
And you won't be
Point the other way.
Too much.
Yeah.
But a weekend when the door's locked would be better.
Well, and honestly,
you'll have some notice of people coming in.
Yeah, and honestly, what I really want to do is like, I mean, it'll depend, from client to client, but I want to just get friendly with like somebody who just has like an Airbnb or something. I mean, honestly, maybe I need to just look at the pictures again in your place, like, but just some house property that's already like dressed and looks good, that's just set up kind of ready to go, that people rent out, that I could just rent for a day to film an interview or two in, if I ever need it for that.
How much would you be willing to pay?
I mean, probably I would just pass it on to whoever the client is. Like if it was based, it's like, look, I don't have a place to film this interview, but for this place, for $100 we can get in there, or $200 or whatever it is. I've never looked into it, but
do is like I booked this Airbnb in Jacksonville once. That would be dope. And I did it just to hook up with some girl.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you could just go on Airbnb but you can't contact people until you book a room, huh?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how that works, and I wouldn't honestly even want to book it for a night. I would want to just use it for like
No, I know,
a
but then
few
if you could
hours.
contact them, you could say, "Hey, I don't need this for the whole night.
Yeah,
I need it for like 3 hours. Can we make a deal on the side
yeah,
outside of Airbnb?" But the thing is, you've got to be able to
prove it.
contact
And
them, and you can't do that until you book it. Is what I'm saying.
yeah, right.
In the app, anyway, you'd have to like,
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know, maybe if you like,
I'm sure there's a way I could find like somebody who owns some of these things and just find a way to talk to them outside of Airbnb. But
let me think about it. Let
yeah,
me think about because I know people. I bet Precious knows people, man. Let me
yeah,
ask
for sure.
Precious because it's something I'm hoping to get more business soon. So
Yeah,
it's weird going from like it was weird going from not having a job to working a regular job,
yep,
but it's weird going back the other way too because now I have to like now I'm like, fuck, where's my next money coming from? You know
yeah,
what I mean?
right. I mean,
And I've got I have to wait a month to file my unemployment because
oh, really?
I'll get more money if I do that.
Oh, interesting.
Because it's weird just the way the the dates fall. They go back like 5 quarters,
Mm,
and if I do it now, I'll get like 400 a week. If I
mm,
wait till March, I'll get like 550 a week.
yeah, damn.
So I want to wait till that,
Yeah,
and so, but this month that means no extra money,
yep,
you know.
yeah,
And so I got a little bit at the beginning, but
yeah.
you know me, fucking buying teleprompters I don't need and shit.
Right. I mean, $40 though, dude. I would not even consider that a
Yeah.
buy or a big
No, it
chunk.
was
Like,
too good a deal not to
yeah,
buy it, especially because I've been looking at them for months, and they're all like for a decent one like this, it's like
yeah.
$500.
No, exactly. I mean, this one was like the second cheapest one I found, and it was like, yeah, almost 200. But he was looking at this site for like professional level teleprompters, so he's like, wow, $250, that's cheap, and it does everything.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, there you go. And so, I don't
and he's
know,
probably used to spending way more money on
lab equipment and shit. Like,
exactly,
yeah.
yeah.
So I mean,
So it
um,
does sound cheap to him, yeah.
but it's weird because he's like wanting to film these talking head videos for the dental lab and um, just kind of start to develop a little bit of a social media presence and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
But what I'm kind of realizing and recognizing as he's talking about this stuff is like the industry that he's in like is so B2B, and it's not even like
Yeah,
any business. It's like he
that's more
specifically works
for
with.
his website, bro.
It's what?
It's more for his website what you're filming.
Yeah, that's what I would think. Like I don't think
What he needs to do
I don't
is
think
like have
running
you
ads
come
is
in for
the.
the day with your phone and just make content while they're working.
Yeah,
You know, get some good clothes. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And have and you know, hopefully there's somebody there that's funny and have them be a little funny
yeah,
and they need to get like. You know, if they want to get a presence going, it has to be content people want to watch.
yeah, exactly.
And it's not going to be like, this is how we make a composite mouth.
Right. And I think like his idea was like, let's make some ads talking about who we are. Like, does your dental lab suck? Try us. We're the better dental lab. Like, just traditional kind of ads like that. I think like his mind's in the right place, but because at least as far as I
But
understand,
where are they
like
going to run that?
yeah,
Like,
exactly. Like there's no
is
there's
there a group for dental labs?
no.
In Oregon, there might be like a private group on Facebook,
Yeah. There's
and
there's
then you could run it there. But that's the thing is,
but like
to
traditionally
me,
running
before
an
you make
ad.
those videos, you have to like figure out where who's going to see. We've talked
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. Well, and
But
and
I
the
know
fact
it's
is,
hard because the clients have their own idea, and you're like, fuck, I want to do what he wants because he's paying the bills.
right, and I mean he like um I just don't think like running a traditional ad, even if it was super targeted, like because you're only targeting dentists specifically, I would think the better thing to do is just buy one of those lists and just do reach outs to dental offices right away because you'd have to be
No,
relying on
100%.
a dentist, not even like somebody like a hygienist that works in the lab because they're not going to give a shit about hiring another dental lab. Like you're going to have to rely on the dentist of that practice to see your ad and to take action on it. Like
Well,
which is
whoever
such a
does the
small.
shopping, right? Because usually those
Yeah, but
offices have like an office manager or office director, and
yeah,
that's who decides, what lab we're going with based on cost and this and that.
yeah,
Unless it's like a one dentist place and he makes all the decisions, right?
yeah, exactly.
But that's the thing is that's more of a like you gotta like,
That's super niche. Like it's just
yeah,
it's
you've almost
and it's
gotta like,
relationship based. Like the that's how a lab and a dentist sort of operate is like very high communication level work. You know,
yeah,
it's
it's
like
like the people that sell drugs to doctors, the pharmacy
right. It's
people.
like you're not just
Like,
gonna run ads. You're gonna go and visit the hospitals and
yeah, they're
talk to
there every
them and
couple weeks. They
yep,
bring coffee for people.
yep.
They make sure that the relationship stays strong, right?
And that's what I think this type of industry is that he's in. So I'm like, he already does a lot of that going and networking and that kind of stuff himself. So I'm like, you know,
Hmm.
it wouldn't hurt to make
But
some ads, and obviously, you know, I'm
well,
down to
that's the thing. If he's doing all that, right?
yeah,
He needs to be. His job is to be collecting email addresses,
right. Which is what these
and
ads
then
are gonna do. But I just
yeah,
think
and then you make a targeted ad and you ship it to those email addresses.
right, yeah,
And then if you're gonna do content, yeah, it could be niche content. Because like
yeah,
for instance, like there's a tow truck guy that I follow, right?
mm-hmm,
I follow these people that do weird jobs, but it's interesting to see how they do it.
yeah.
That's exactly what he needs
Yeah,
to be filming.
that was my like original pitch to him. This was like years ago when I was just working there as an employee too, just like doing my regular shit and kind of helping with social media. It was like, oh, we can make just funny content about the lab and like what is a dental lab? A dental lab does this. Like what if we appealed more to like the general person who's just getting a crown done? Like don't you think it'd be interesting to make content? And he seemed to like shy away like, oh, we're, you know, our real target demographic is dentists. It's like, well,
I
dentists
mean, that makes sense to a certain extent. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
but it's like, you know, you're not gonna build notoriety. Like there's only the ratio
There's no
of
reason to
dentists
make
to
like to me. There's no real reason to make social media content in his business,
yeah, exactly.
right?
Right. No.
And so you have to like figure out. Okay, so but he wants to make video content, right?
Yeah,
So
right.
the thing is, like, what
Have
I
it on the
would do,
website. Like
well, what I would do is pitch building him a one-page landing page where you make a couple videos and then do a Google pay-per-click campaign, right?
mm,
Because that's who's really looking for him. Is
yeah,
people who are searching it. So you whatever the keywords are, you put like $300 behind it,
yeah.
and then you have a link from that ad straight to your one page landing page, right?
That has all those
And
answers or questions answered or
yeah, whatever it is. Like, well, okay, so let's say, okay, so let's think about who's going to be clicking on, who's going to be searching for a
a new
composite
dental lab.
mouth
Yeah,
lab, right?
yeah,
And why are they looking? Because if they're a dentist, they probably already have one,
yeah,
so they're probably looking for a new lab, right?
yeah.
So then I would say, okay, what are you doing differently than all the other labs around here that we can highlight?
Well, and he's not even like he's trying to go national, not just regional. Because I would say he's kind of already dominating the market in the regional sense. I mean,
Okay.
at least up to
That's the
Grants Pass,
story
but
then.
yeah.
That's the story then. And why is he dominating? Well,
Um,
we dominate because we have this new technology that other people don't use. Blah blah blah.
they're kind of
Okay,
the
great.
only
And
one.
you want more dentists to see that?
Yeah,
Great. So let's buy some pay-per-click ads, and let's buy, like you said, buy a list where we can send out an email blast to everybody,
yeah,
right to just with a funny video to start
yeah,
that makes them click through to the one-page landing page.
yeah, yeah.
And that to me, that's money well spent.
Right. More so, I think the same. Yeah, more so than spending a
But
bunch
you
of
gotta
money on
tell them in the
ads.
terms of like, we could do what you're doing, but you also need to do this in order to reach out.
Yeah,
Because what he's doing is he's putting stuff on his website. People have to look for him, and
exactly.
he's got to reach out to people.
Yeah, there's two parts to it. Well, and also, I mean, he's just like, you know, he's gone to some of these like grow your business kind of seminars and social media, how to blah 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 with social media. Like he is in the active mindset of how to grow a business, but I just think like he's
It's his target market though.
yeah, he's been kind of absorbed in this whole thing like social media is the end all be all solution, which it is to a
Right.
lot of stuff, but like I really think with this type of business that he has, which is not just B2B,
Social
but it's like
media is a tool, but it's
yeah,
not even the biggest tool that a B2B should be using.
right, exactly. It's like it's so ultra specific. Like there's other business things like, you know, B2B things with like not AnyDesk, but what are those like tracking task management softwares, like those can be
Yeah.
used by any business of any size, any scale, any time. Like he's talking about a business that is so ultra specific, like just dentists and orthodontists, like which make up,
Right.
1.1% of all other
Percent of all
businesses.
other
Like
businesses.
it's just one of those things, like I just don't see how doing traditional advertising is going to yield, like, I don't know, good
It's
results
not,
for.
and but that's what he needs to understand, right?
Yeah.
Is how ultra specific it is,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
like you need like
And it's
so I
relationship
think because
driven,
you used
like
to work for him, maybe he's not
he doesn't
listening
see
to
me
you
as
for
a.
some reason.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's not like I've really had this conversation in depth. I mean, actually, now that
You
I,
should though.
yeah, I actually did. Now that I think about it, I just sent him an email a couple days ago, and I think, oh, he did get back to me. He's like, oh, this is a lot to take in. Let me get back to you. So
Good.
actually, yeah. So
Dude,
he,
I would wait a week and
um,
then be like, "Hey, man, can we grab a coffee and just talk about this stuff?"
yeah,
I know it's a
follow up
lot
in
to take
person.
in,
Yeah,
but it's not as confusing as that email sounds.
yeah,
I can, you know what I mean? I can
break it
simplify it
down.
for you, and that way you can just answer questions.
Yeah, no, that's a good. I mean, that's a good point because honestly, I want to, highlight the exact point I'm making, which is like this is a relationship based thing. It's the same with me. Like I'm not gonna run an
But you
ad.
want to. Here's the thing, though. If he's going national, he can't do relationship based,
That's true. There is an
right?
extent to which you have to.
No,
Um,
what you have to do is if he's talking digital and national,
hmm
he has to use database marketing as
hmm
well as like yeah he should do social so that people can see that they're but like I said
that they're
you
present.
going there one day a month you could get enough for one day a week in posts
Yeah, exactly.
and that's all he needs really like he should post a little bit more but make easy stuff for the other days
Yeah,
just to stay in the algorithm but the main thing is going to be people seeing his name all of the time.
yeah.
That's why it's got to be pay-per-click ads, so that every
Mm,
time that same dentist goes and searches, he comes up in the top 3,
I see. Right.
right? So every
Yeah.
time he sees, at some point, he's going to be like, "All right, what's this guy about?"
Right. I keep seeing
I
Unbreakable
prefer
Bonds.
number 2 to number 1.
Yeah.
I feel like more people click on number 2 than number 1,
And he did
but
actually. I mean, that is he. That was definitely part of his scheme or part of his idea when he went through like a rebranding and he renamed the business instead of Rogue Valley Dental Arts. It's now Unbreakable Bonds because he
good.
just figured that would like be a
Yeah,
catchier
you
name.
never want to. If you're trying to go national, you can't regionalize your
Regionalized,
name.
exactly. So he did kind of position it that way, and I think too the name Unbreakable Bonds is kind of like, oh, that's an
That's a good
interesting.
name.
That's a it kind of pops out from like dental crown fitting incorporated. It's like it's
Yeah.
just a and he does
No,
have a little
that's a great
spiel
name,
like,
especially if he's got a really good logo to go with it.
yeah, he does. And his
Good.
whole thing is like, like they do as far as like how good is the actual business itself, the thing that they're selling, which obviously the product is part of it. I don't think they're like necessarily ultra competitive on pricing, but especially compared to China, of course, which is where a lot of people get their crowns, but
Right, but that's where you need to sort of like
it's that whole
talk
thing with
them out
like,
of China in those ads.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
why use us? We're made in the USA.
yeah.
We have quality control. We have excellent customer service. If anything goes wrong, we overnight
Yep.
it. Like whatever.
It's that
You know,
exact. It's like the Office. It's like Dunder Mifflin versus Staples type thing. It's like
yeah,
the cut.
exactly.
It's like
And
the
you
small
want to show them
business.
why you're like why they should because if they have a problem, the problem's going to get solved right away. But then you have
Exactly.
to actually really do that.
Right. Exactly. Which they do. So, I mean, I think it's all good, but then it's a matter of not just him saying that in a talking head video on camera. Like I want to film like some actual case
Right, you need the
studies. Like
B-roll.
I need the B-roll of like Joe and the people that work there on these cases. Like I want to showcase them and what they're doing, and
Dude,
I want
yeah, exactly.
make content about them.
My name's Joe, and I've been working here for 15 years.
Yep.
30
years,
what I love
actually.
about this job is blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like yeah, and so
Humanize
so,
it, like personalize it, the content, like, and
100%.
and also get testimonials. Another thing. Now I'm reading over this email. I'm like, damn, I must have touched on a lot of this stuff. Fucking, I want to get testimonials from other dentists that have worked with him for the last 20
Yeah,
years,
yeah,
like
100%,
their
dude.
current client list. Like, just
But
go.
he's got to pay for all that.
Exactly. So that's. But now I'm getting him because he, I'm getting the sense he's in the mindset of like, there's two types of business owners. Ones that are like, let's just keep it as simple as possible. We don't need to be big Hollywood production. Let's just quick, easy, painless, blah, blah, blah. Basically, I don't want to spend a ton of money, right? And some that are like, whatever you guys tell me to do, just tell me how much it is and where we're going to do it at. And we want it to look good.
The nice part is you can do both.
Exactly. And that's,
The nice part is,
yeah.
and honestly, he should do both.
Yeah.
Because the stuff that lives on his website should be Hollywood level,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
But the stuff on his social should not be. It should be
Right.
filmed on a phone.
Yeah. Yep.
Really, or at least vertical. Like, it takes me out of it when I see even
big
when
professional.
I see a fake bokeh on a video.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm immediately like scrolling.
Yep.
I just want just the regular video, the regular camera from an iPhone is more than enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if you want to shoot it in Rec 709.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And I could even, I mean,
Here, buddy.
and that was his whole thing. He's like, I figured, I'd come show up to the studio once a week and we could film this stuff. And I'm just like, and he's talking about doing what we just did the other week, which was like a 2-camera setup. I have to shift all my furniture around in here. I had to position my
He
light.
doesn't even have enough content to talk about every week.
Exactly.
If he's going to do that, then he should do a podcast.
That's
what, if he does a 20-minute podcast every other week,
yeah.
then,
And, dude-
and shot that out to dentists,
hmm
where he talks about the latest changes.
In
Like,
tech,
somebody would
yeah.
listen to that on their way home,
Exactly.
and then call him.
Yep.
But that's the thing, like, all of those things is what he needs to do, not just a few of them.
Yeah. And not just like, I think he is definitely open to feedback. This is honestly like the first time I've really like laid it out and been kind of honest in the sense like I actually flat out said like I don't think a traditional mass social media, even if it's a targeted social media marketing strategy, like I don't think that's going to have very good returns. Like it's going to be a pretty low click rate. I think like even if it's super targeted, even if we blasted it on YouTube, Facebook, and all LinkedIn and everywhere, like doesn't hurt to have a presence. But like just cold calling, cold emailing, warm calling after, like, hey, I sent you this email. We just sent you a free like sizing guide. He took the time to create all these lead magnets, download this free sizing guide to get email addresses. So like we have all that stuff in place.
Dude, here's to me, what I would do is for your next meeting, have your packages ready.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Here's what it's going to cost me if you want me to come there every week.
Yeah.
And make
Film a new video.
social media videos.
Yeah.
Here's what it's going to cost you for this video. Here's what it's going to cost you for me to produce the podcast for you.
Yeah.
And, including making him his own like lead intro music with you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And really just make everything ultra professional.
Yeah.
And then charge him,
Whatever it is.
For it.
Yeah.
But let him know that like, hey, this year I'll do it for this. Next year we have to go up 25% in budget.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Which I think
and get him to agree to that ahead of time if you can.
Yeah. No, dude.
Just,
I mean,
if it works, if we hit these benchmarks,
yeah.
then I need or tie a bonus into benchmarks.
Yeah. That
If
too.
sales go up 20%, I get a bonus of whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I don't
that's
know, but
no, that's
yeah,
the
man,
right
I think
mindset
that-
for sure.
Pardon
Because
me?
that's the right mindset for sure. Because like honestly, that would have been the next step for sure. Honestly, I already spent like 3 or 4 hours writing up this whole proposal email that I sent him. So I was like, I'm not about to go and do a pricing breakdown for everything either. But that'll probably be the next follow up thing for sure. Just to like take a little bit more of the alpha sort of role in the situation. Like, let me just break it down for
I'm
you.
the professional. Let me show you what you need.
Yeah, exactly. And this is how much everything can do. So where are you at? Because so far it's been like he's kind of leading it as far as like, well, I'd love to pay you $100 for this day, and like we can set this up, and I'll buy this, and I'll pay you this for that. And the other tough thing is like his son, Jesse. My friend Jesse, who also does video for Lithia. Like he's also, of course, trying to involve him in it because it's his son, and he also does
As far as
professional.
what?
Just like making videos for the lab kind of thing.
Dude, that's fine, but the thing is that's what I'm saying is that.
But Jesse doesn't really do the marketing side. Like he doesn't really understand stuff on that level.
No, what I'm saying is that the real work that you want to be paid for is what we're doing right now. Is the strategy.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know how to make it, how to reach the people. He doesn't,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And that's what he's paying you for. Who cares if he doesn't want you to produce the videos?
Yeah.
Just make sure that he's paying you enough for the strategy that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's the way you really need to look at this, is like,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. That's why it's hard for me to make this content, these ads, because I'm like, you know, I'm so used to, I'm so tied into photography, video guy, which is what I wanted. That's how everybody thinks of me. You know what I mean?
But that kind of makes people assume
I
that
want to be paid for my strategy stuff, because that's the shit that makes money.
actually pays. Yeah, and that's kind of the same thing. Like I think we've talked about a good amount of times too with like Base and everybody else. It's like, you know, that's just like, I don't know, like that's what I think justifies being paid more, is like when you take a level of involvement in coming up with things. Because if he's asking me every week, like, what kind of videos should we make? What should we do? How should we do this? It's like, this is like a lot of time, and I'm already getting paid to like edit and shoot everything. Like
He's kind of big broing you, it sounds like.
yeah, you know, which is fine, but like it's one of those things, like I could definitely at least with future clients, like make it more clear. Like I can either be working for you where you tell me everything to do and I'll just go make it, and I don't have to have the stress of making any decisions or giving any professional feedback, or you pay me more for that exact thing where I'm walking you through this and like we're doing it more together, at least collaboratively, and I'm making the content, you know, like
But that's
it's kind of
that's where you have to break it down to like
a cost, like
production versus
oh
you
yeah,
know, like,
strategy.
here's what you know, I'm gonna set all this up. I'm gonna produce everything. I'm gonna get it all done for you. Versus, okay, you want to do the production, that's fine, but you know, I still need to be paid. So you need to price it accordingly, right?
Yeah, right.
Take a little bit out of the production budget and
Yeah.
add it to your cost as for strategy and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And honestly, dude, the thing is, like, you're gonna need to get something like Hootsuite,
Exactly.
something that will generate
Well, and
ads,
I told him,
generate reports for you every month.
I told him that
show
too. Like,
what kind of progress you're getting.
yeah,
And that costs money.
yep.
And so, you know, there are more costs.
I mean,
that go
even
into
the
this.
editing software and my cloud storage. I mean, even those little things. I'm like, for every client, I'm taking that into account. Like, you know,
Well, that's why I have my
it's just
clients buy me
hard drive.
hard
or,
drives now.
yeah, yeah.
I'm like, I need at least a 2 terabyte, really good hard drive.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
should make them buy 2.
Right.
I use my own for the backups.
When you just say one is for them and one is for backups, like, and you just tell them,
Yeah.
like, you know,
And they're not expensive. They're like $100.
exactly. But it's like it's
So-
peace of mind for them, and then it's like you get one of these at the end. Like you keep one, so it's
Yeah,
not
that's
my
exactly what I'm sending to Unite today.
yeah, yeah.
I really feel like I shouldn't send it. Part
Just
of
be
me
like,
is like, but I
because-
agreed I would, and I want my fucking unemployment.
your name to
I
be
want them to finance my golf for the summer.
yeah, dude. There you go.
But yeah, dude. So like,
It
I don't
is.
know, man.
Yeah.
I hope this helps the talk.
No, definitely. I mean, that's like it's definitely good to run ideas past you at least, because yeah, I mean, it's talking about it with Jesse. It's like his mind is just purely in. You know, it's kind of cool working with him on stuff, but it's like his mind is purely on the video side of things, and like,
Right.
which is fun. You know,
He's
that's the
he's
business he
like-
wants
like-
to have. So I mean, I'm not gonna.
It's kind of like how I not use you, but you know what I mean? Like when I hire you, I'm like, I don't really want to think about how to make this the most beautiful way. I
Yeah.
want Evan to do that so
Right.
that I can think of all the other stuff.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah.
And like you could use him in that way, but you love the footage. You know, you love to make the footage pretty too. Like,
For
I do
sure.
too. Don't get me wrong, but
But
it
it's
takes
like-
me out of the other
There's so many other things to think
directing
about.
role when I do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And
It
that's
could
the.
just be me.
No, I mean that's how it is. I mean that's literally how. I mean at the highest level, that is the goal. Is you have somebody who's solely responsible for one set of things, and that way, like
Dude, even like a focus puller.
exactly, dude. The fact, dude, that's literally what did it for me, dude. Like the fact that when I the day I got hired to just pull focus and that was it. And they were like shocked when I stepped up to like hold a light for them. They're like, "Oh, like you're assistant camera." I'm like, "Yeah, but there's only 6 of us here. Like, what am I gonna do? Just fucking stand next to the camera the whole time?" Like, it's just like, but the fact that that was like quote unquote standard for them for their level of production, it's like, oh, okay, so you really could specialize every single job down to like one job.
Yeah,
And
that's exactly what like Hollywood productions do, you know.
yeah, and so I'm just
and
like,
that's why, like, I don't know. To me, it's like it feels like overkill sometimes, but when I think about it, it's like fuck.
yeah,
Like that's a lot of people to have to manage, but
yeah,
if you get really good professionals,
yeah,
that just work on it and put their egos aside, dude.
yeah,
Like, imagine what you could do if you had someone to do every little job.
yeah.
Imagine what you could produce if you
Well,
were
dude,
just
and even
pulling the strings like Steve Jobs, you know?
yeah, dude, and even that, I mean, even that telenovela, like for that size of that project, like we had the perfect, I feel like, amount of people for just that,
Yeah.
you know? And it's
No,
like,
I
that's what I
agree.
wish more people would see. Like, you know, let me just have 5 people here. Like that would just make everything go so smooth because it's not like we need a gigantic whole, like we don't
And dude,
make a
the
whole
only
thing of
reason
it,
I
but
got that approved is because Luann has done production before.
oh, I see. So it's
So she
like
knew that it would
they have to
help.
see the they have to have been to the promised land to fucking
Yeah.
see what it
But
can
in
get.
the
Yeah.
end, dude, whoops, sorry. In the end, I was done in by Virginia being like,
Yeah.
that's overkill. We don't need that. I shot
Right.
it on an iPhone last year. Let's just
Yeah.
finish it on an iPhone.
Yeah, right.
Like, she just wanted to
Yeah.
get rid of me, which is fine. But, like,
Yeah.
at the same time, like, you always have those people that are like, no, this is overkill.
Right, yeah.
And so you got to, like, get this guy to, trust
Or
you.
they're just on a budget, which is fine because that's like you
Yeah.
said, that's where cell phone videos come in. Because I'm like, you know, if you're trying to only spend a couple $100, like we can easily do that. I'll just come in with the phone, but like, you know, we'll bust it out in an hour. I'll edit it right there on the spot, give it to
And
you,
I guarantee
wash
you
my
won't,
hands.
not you, but them, they
Yeah,
won't be able to tell the
they
fucking
won't be.
difference.
Yeah, well, either that or they'll be like, oh, this is um, like I saw what your videos look like over there. I want something that looks like that. Like I've showed him all the
Right.
stuff I've done for ads for other places, and we've made videos in the past for him that look really good. So I think once he sees this, he's gonna be like, oh, okay, so this is like the difference. It's like, yeah, we have to, you know, and not that I'm necessarily like charging to rent out my studio, but he wants to come every week, which it's like I could be renting this out at a totally different rate than what I would be getting paid to like also film it all and set up the camera and lighting and backdrops and everything while he's here. Um,
Yeah.
and you know, luckily, Jesse's kind of taking care of the editing. But if I still have to at least supervise the editing and like think about
Dude, you're
where it's all going to
directing,
get
you're
posted
writing, you're producing.
and like not
You know what I
all
mean?
the marketing on the back end, and you know, it's one of
That's
those
what I'm
things like
saying, bro.
two
Yeah,
hundred
and so
bucks, 300 bucks.
you
You know,
gotta take it over as like a project manager, basically,
exactly. Yeah.
and just be like, listen, here's what I'm gonna give you. The end result is gonna be this. If your son wants to edit it, so you save a few bucks, that's cool. But I'm
Yeah.
gonna write a script that he's gonna edit too anyway, so you may as well have him do it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's
And
like,
so
yeah.
I don't know, man.
And if he wants to do it all himself, you know, then it's like perfect. Like all the strategy, then it's like if I don't have to think about any of that, that's how you justify paying me less money in my mind. Like
Exactly.
I will show up
If
and
I'm
shoot.
just here to like the last couple days of the shoot for the telenovelas,
Yeah.
dude, I was a different person. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
I went there with my. I did take my camera because I wanted it to at least match.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, listen, I was like, here's the script. I'm gonna shoot whatever this script says, and then I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't shoot any
Right.
B-roll. I
Yeah.
didn't shoot
Yeah.
any like, what do you call the? I don't know what do you call the like? I guess it's just B-roll.
B-roll, establishing shots, like,
Yeah, I didn't shoot any of that stuff. It
Yeah.
was just like we're gonna shoot exactly what's on the script
yep,
because that's what was approved, and that's
that's
I'm
what
not
they're
getting paid for
expecting.
this anyway.
Right. Yeah, dude. No, it's literally like, you know, that's I don't know. And that's kind of how I've approached the conversations with Base too. It's like, what do you want to what do you think we should do for this video? It's like I don't know, whatever you guys think would be best. I mean, I could tell you what I would do, but I mean, that would take me a whole hour to explain.
Yeah, I'm
So
gonna
it's like,
do a campaign, not a video.
yeah, exactly. Like we could,
So if you want a video, what I'll do is a recap, like I always fucking do.
yep. And he, you know, to his credit, at least now he's bringing in at least a couple more voices to these meetings where they're like, you know, what we should do is have interviews with the kids. I'm like, oh, perfect. Like, I don't have to do any thinking about what types of videos to get. They're kind of just telling me. But the only trouble with this is now, like, not necessarily trouble, but just like now the thing to consider is like on all these trips, like I'm doing another trip to Portland with them at the end of this month with Base, and I'm going to be doing, I got to bring the camera to get these impactful interviews that they want to get, but then I'm also going to be running the social media the whole time and like making edits on there. So it's
Yeah.
like, and
But
just,
that's the thing, dude. They just gotta either realize that they need to step up, or you need to let them go for a few months, let
Yeah.
them hire someone else who's not gonna
do as good of a job or,
do as much, and then they'll be like, "Fuck, let's just pay Evan." But
yeah.
that's a risk, you know?
Right, right. And if I was in obviously a better place, like I would be way more confident doing that, asking for more money, all those other things. But
No, that's hard when you need the job.
yeah, so
But that's what sucks, dude. Is they know it. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
right, yeah,
But what sucks even more is that like they're just being cheap, and it's to their detriment.
well, and it's
You know what I mean?
yeah,
If they would just like I hate to sound like Mr. Know-It-All,
yeah,
but if they would just listen and even try it once, even if it doesn't work out, they would at least see, oh, I see why we do this now.
hmm
Like we're doing it on another level. We're not just making video. Like anyone can make a video of whatever's trending that week